Hey everyone, welcome back to the fourth video in Introduction to Programming playlist by Dashbase Academy. So before you watch this video, please make sure that you've taken the Module 0 quiz on the Dashbase app. This quiz will make sure that you understand what you've learned so far and that you're ready to move on to the next step of programming. So if you don't know what the Dashbase app is, please check out the previous video and that will explain to you what it is. Okay, so before we get started, let me just clear up the terminology. So a lot of people are confused about what the difference between a coder and a programmer is. So there's like no difference. They're literally the same thing. So they could be used interchangeably. When I say coder, you could think of a programmer. If I say programmer, you could think of a coder. Either way, they're just people who make programs, right? So if you ask any programmer what the first program they wrote is, they will probably say "Hello World." So that's what we're gonna do today. We're going to write a program that simply prints out "Hello World." Alright, so the first thing you're gonna want to do is just go on Google and search something called REPL. Just spelled REPL, and it should be one of the first results. So it is REPL.it. So what REPL is just a platform online that allows you to start coding without setting up anything on your own. So usually, if you want to program in a specific language or a specific environment, you're gonna have to do a bunch of configuration on your computer, and then just like set up a bunch of stuff. Um, but that's not really beginner friendly, and we just want to write a quick program, so we don't need to do all that. Later on in the course, I'm gonna show you how to set up your own configuration on your computer so that you don't need the internet to code. But for now, we're just gonna use REPL. So what you want to do is you want to press start coding, and there's a bunch of languages here as you can see. If you want to play around with it later on, you can, but for now we're just gonna press Python because that's where you're gonna use, and then you're gonna press create REPL, and voila. So it created a REPL for us. So immediately you see three sections. You see this section, and this section. I want to draw your attention to this section. This section is what the code editor is. So this is a code editor. This is where you write your code, and this is where it highlights different keywords and may format it for you, and just this is where you write your code, and this is where you're probably gonna spend most of your time in concentration in this middle part right here. So this part right here is the command line. This is where you're gonna see the output of your code. So you're gonna write your code here, and then you're gonna execute it or run it by pressing run here, and then it's gonna output the results here. And this section is just for files. You know, you could create files here. You could create a folder, and just store different files and stuff. But you're probably not gonna need it right now, so don't worry about this section. Okay, so we said that we're gonna write a program that prints out "Hello World." Let me show you how to do that. So this program will print out "Hello World." Easy, right? It reads well in English. Um, you're telling Python to print "Hello World." So don't worry about the little details right now. For example, don't worry about why this is highlighted blue, or why there's a parenthesis here and a closing parenthesis here. Don't worry about why the quotation marks is here. I will explain all that later. For now, I just want you to understand the bigger picture. Um, that this is where you write your programs. This is where you run it, and this is the output. So we just wrote print "Hello World," and we're gonna press run. And look at that, the computer just told us "Hello World." Wow, good job! You just wrote your first program, "Hello World." You just told the computer to tell us "Hello World." That's quite an accomplishment. So give yourself a tap on the back for that. So you could tell Python to print anything you want, not just "Hello World." You could maybe tell it to print your name. So hello prints. and you press run, and look at that, it says hello prince. So this is pretty basic. Play around with it, tell it to print anything you want. um, it might get boring, but we're gonna do more complicated stuff later. But I just want you to understand the bigger picture, um, of just the workflow you're gonna do throughout the course. You're gonna write your programs in this section. You're gonna run it and see the result here. Awesome. So the reason why this file is called main.py is is because .py, the extension .py tells the computer that this is a Python file and treat it as a Python file. It also tells the code editor that this is a Python file, and which means the code editor knows what words to highlight in which color. Different languages have the different highlight configuration, so that's why you need to put the pi. Awesome. So yeah, so that's it for this. Mostly it for the video. The main topic of the video was just to get you to print out something and just execute a command just to kind of get you in the workflow, and also just to break, just to have you write your first program, hello world. um and yeah, so I'll see you in the next video where we'll be learning more about exactly what this is doing, and just the different elements of this line, so you can better understand what this is doing and why it's doing that. Alright, cool. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.